Transformation does not require punishment. You can lose fat without loathing yourself. We're going to unpack how shame hijacks behavior and how a new self image and identity can anchor change for yourself, and how to use creativity instead of criticism to streamline your body and to live the life that you always want. Coming up today on the Spencer Mark Podcast. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is one for me. This really pulls at my heartstrings. Talking about stress eating, talking about being overweight. This was my whole life, seemingly growing up, always being big and loathing myself and hating myself for eating too much and getting stressed out about that, and then eating more on top of that. Stress eating was a huge part of my life, and it helped me cope with whether it was raising kids or becoming, dealing with abuse or going through a bad time in a relationship. This was like my emotional pressure release, it seemed like, just to keep eating. So what I'm wanting to do here is kind of bring to light what I've gone through and how a new healthy self-image is going to make all these different changes much easier for you as they did for me. So just wanting to share this, that again, you don't need to hate your body in order to make the changes that you want to make. So using the image framework. So that's what we're going to do. This is a framework that I've built in order to really help you understand how we can help you imagine this new healthy image of you moving forward. And to give you a little bit of context, this is the picture that I saw. This was over 13 years ago. On my birthday, you can see the candles there at 35. This is a picture I looked at myself and I go, I have got to make some changes here too. This was taken in Japan. There's my little dog, Chibi. I miss her so much. She was there wanting to have a little bit of that cake too. And you can see I was just real sweaty. I was really big. I'm trying to hold some empathy for this man because he just didn't really understand what was going on. I was sitting down eating whole pizzas, eating whatever I wanted, and I was dealing with a lot of stress at the time of moving overseas, trying to learn a new language, being separated from my kids for a while, involved in a new relationship, and there was a lot of stress happening inside of my life. And so when I looked at this picture, I realized that I have really got to do something. And I just didn't really hold a clear image of what I wanted to be, of what I wanted to look like. So this is my attempt to kind of go through this framework that's going to help make these choices much easier for you as they have been for me. And I'm going to explain what that looks like. So we're going to start here with the image framework, looking at the identity. And it was when I started to see myself as a strong and grounded person that my actions started to naturally change. And I stopped needing to eat a pizza in order to feel okay. I was able to identify different methods of trying to feel better. So I want you to just imagine what it would be like for you to create an avatar of the man that you are becoming. Like it's a character that you're playing, but it's you. It's authentically you. What do you look like? It's just what actions do you take as this avatar of yourself? We need to be able to tap into your imagination here. And this is what the I stands for, is the building this identity. And it needs to be two I's, really: identity and engaging your imagination for what it is that you actually want. And then ask yourself, what does this new avatar eat? What does he wear? Think about that. Like, what is your best version of yourself? What do they wear? What's that style? How does he move? And what does he say no to? So again, it's probably saying no to pizza and yes to the gym, maybe, or maybe saying yes to a suit instead of no to like some crappy khaki shorts and some old, dusted down, like worn out button up shirt. You know, you can start doing these things right away. You don't have to wait for it. And that's the powerful thing about creating this identity for yourself now and imagining is that you can step into this right now, right here, and then you can start to arrive and into that identity that you're wanting to become. So this version that I was looking at for myself didn't need to force any sort of discipline. It naturally decided I started making natural changes and natural decisions more. It was more easy for me, more easy. It was just becoming more natural for me to make these decisions, because if I held an old identity of I'm a fat ass, I'm no good, and then you're trying to eat a side salad or something, that's just not going to jive, because that doesn't fit with your image that you're holding yourself. Even though it's negative, you keep considering yourself a fat ass or worthless. I would make decisions that would keep me in that identity of being a fat ass and worthless, just whether it's donuts or pizza. And I would get stressed about that. Then I would eat it to try to feel better. And that really aligned with how I saw myself. So I need to use my imagination to involve a new identity and to create that avatar. And that's something you can do for yourself right now. It could be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's get into the M of image and looking at the metabolism. And that understand that self-love is a metabolic enhancer. It has you feeling good and filled with more energy and vitality. The stress that we put ourselves through is a metabolic saboteur. It is going to wreck you at every chance it can get. Feeling down, feeling depressed, moping, you're going to start falling into those patterns that match that energy. So when you start thinking about self-love and self-compassion for yourself, it is going to give you more energy. And that energy is going to help your mindset. Again, that's the stress and the shame are going to slow your metabolism down. You're going to embody just a self-defeating attitude, the depression, the anxiety. It's going to keep your body really tight instead of loose and free and flowing. So your mindset is really everything in determining the metabolism that you want to have and your energy. So emotional eating is not about food. It's about soothing unmet needs. I had no answers for anything when I was living overseas in Japan or Germany and trying to understand what I wanted to do with my life. The only thing I knew how to do was eat. And when I was stressed and raising the kids, or if I was doing too much around the house, I could always just throw myself inside of a pizza. And it wasn't about It wasn't about just the food and thinking that I needed the food. It was underneath all of it. It was just, again, taking care of like, at least I can feel good right now while I'm chewing and I'm eating here and I'm swallowing. And if I'm eating fast, I need to eat more in order to have a much longer period of time to just be in a soothing eating place. You know what I mean? If I ate fast and had a small pizza, my experience would be over quickly. So I needed to eat a much bigger portion. I eat pizzas that were as big as Germany, the pizzas were huge, and I would eat an entire one and work on another half before I was ready to pop. So again, I want to get into this, like hating yourself. Hating yourself for doing what you're doing is keeping your body in a fight or flight state of mind and in like a nervous system response. So that stress is going to raise the hormone of cortisol to where you're going to be holding on to fat, preparing for a long winter. Because you're running, you're running away from the tiger. You're not relaxed. So when you're in that hating yourself mode, it's going to keep you in fight or flight. Your body's going to be tense. You're going to be eating whatever you eat is going to be stored away for fat, because your body just doesn't really feel safe to fully digest it. So hating yourself equals fat storing mode. Real simple. So if you want to work on loving yourself with this image, you're going to be able to metabolize your food much better. Now, this gets to the awareness part. Before you eat, you just ask, what am I really hungry for? When I looked at that picture earlier, what I was hungry for, I think it was just an escape. I was hungry for just being in that experience. It wasn't about hunger or nourishing my body. It was about escapism. I can just throw myself in the tasting the marinara mixed with the cheese and the pepperoni. That's what I want, you know? But what is that underneath that? What was I wanting underneath that? That's stems with your awareness here. So when you're eating, notice the moment after the binge when that shame kind of creeps in. I think that's a big thing to kind of understand is like, is it 5 minutes right after the binge? Does the shame happen before you eat but have made the decision to eat already? But just noticing the shame that happens around when you're eating, I think is big. Again, noticing I can't believe I ate that whole thing. I did it again. I can't believe I'm such a loser. Okay, that's it. I'm done. You know, understanding the shame loose, becoming aware of that. What's happening, you know, and how can you adjust? But saying that I see that I was stressed was a response instead of a failure is going to bring more compassion, you know, and it's going to bring about more change to you. So just understanding that your eating doesn't mean that you're a failure at all. It just is a response. It's a stress response. It's a response that you're taking on to make everything okay in your world. And I want you to have compassion for yourself there too. So the only thing we need to do is just really switch that eating for something else that can help you feel grounded. It can help you feel safe. It's a nice and healthy response to your stress. Going out for a walk, watching a funny movie, drawing something, creating some art, going outside and playing, talking with your partner, going to the park and watching other people play. You know, that's a good thing to do too. And brings about some co-regulation. Even when you just watch other people play with their dogs or with their kids, it fills you with a sense of more relaxation. And that's what we're trying to get to here too. So when you're stressed, finding new healthy ways to help you relax, that's what's going to help you bring compassion for yourself. And that's why it makes awareness so powerful. So don't let this word scare you, the word goals. Okay. Why we want to make goals gradual. We don't want to make these big to-dos or to chores. A goal should be inspiring for you, that bring about excitement. If it doesn't excite you, throw it out. It's not a goal, it's a chore. Okay. Think about very small, gradual things that you can do in building the self-image, and build the goal from a place of love. I know this may sound corny, right? But hey, love is the most powerful thing in the entire universe. And we feel better. We feel at our best when we're loving, and to love yourself is the best way to love others. And it's the best way to receive love. And cultivating that relationship for yourself. So what is your goal? Your goal is to get strong, to build muscle, to move throughout life, to get down on the floor and play with your grandkids and be able to stand back up again, to smile, to laugh, to ride your bike. Just whatever is an expression of your health and well-being comes from a place of love instead of self-hate. That's a worthwhile goal. Okay, so instead of saying, hey, I need to lose this gut, say, you know, I want to feel light and capable on going on a hike with my daughter. That's more powerful rather than saying, I need to lose this because I hate this about myself. It's aspire to those things that you really want to do. You know, I've talked to so many men that just say, hey, I want to get off these meds and I want to be able to be present with my kids and my grandkids. I want to be able to play with them instead of just looking outside at the window, watching them have a good time, knowing that, and just knowing that I get to be out there with them. A lot of times, folks tell me is that they feel they don't want to go out with their kids and their grandkids because they don't want to feel that they're holding them back. You want to be able to keep up. You want to keep up with everyone else around you. So think about those things that you really want instead of just saying, I hate my body. That's my goal. That's not a good goal. Think about the biggest term. Like, say if you didn't have the gut, what would you be doing more of? So let's look to embody this. So you don't really have to become this person that you want to be by punishing yourself. This is just one of those unconscious behaviors that just kinds to loop around, is thinking that I need to hurt myself enough to where I get sick of hurting myself to where I can rise above and do better. You don't have to do that. You can just become that person you want to be by just choosing to love yourself enough to evolve. So when we're embodying these practices, think about doing little baby micro choices that help you form that new identity that come from that identity. Is that more journaling? Is that more walking? What does it look like? Start wearing that person's clothes. I dressed like crap when I was living in Europe. I didn't think of myself too much. I didn't know what to wear because I couldn't really imagine what I wanted to look like because I hated myself. And I thought maybe hating myself maybe might do the trick. Wear the clothes now. Walk like that person now. Eat like that person now. That's you're choosing to embody this right now. Don't think about the future. Future has not even been created yet. Think like this person now. Embody it means you're doing that practice right now, and speak to yourself like you would your kids, or if that doesn't work, your best friend. Your self-talk is everything, and it was everything for me too. So that's the image protocol. And that's how we're going to be able to evolve. You got to really embody practices right here and now in order to arrive to where you want to be. You can't say, I want to start living the life that I want to live after I lose these 20 pounds. Well, guess what'll happen? You're just telling yourself the entire time, is just putting yourself off, that you have to lose 20 pounds in order to be loved, to feel love, to love others. Bullshit. Love yourself now. Embody the person that you are that's hidden right there now. And then soon your body will begin to form in that image of those of yourself subconscious thoughts. Embody it now, because now is the only time there is. So remember that self-hate is not some virtue we need to strive for. It's not. It's a vice. We lean on it too much. Especially as men, we are too hard on ourselves. Okay? Self-hate is not the way. Remember that punishment is never going to create any sort of sustainable peace. It's just not. You can't just plant a seed out there in cement and expect it to grow. The ground is not soft enough. You need to have a soft environment. You need to have a loving environment for those seeds to grow. Just remember, it grows from love. And remember, shame, dude, it does not get results for you. It just doesn't, not sustainably. It's forming this new identity of yourself and playing with your imagination. Imagination is not just for children. It's for us too. It's available to us. Let's get out there and use our imagination and imagine that we are living our best life right now. Have fun with that. Let's grow it. Now, the next thing you're going to do is book a call with me. It's a free call, and we're going to build a nutrition plan together based on your self-image, to where you're starting to making food decisions and movement decisions much more naturally, without white knuckling it and trying to be something you're not, because these decisions you're going to start making fall in line with your image. Okay, so the link is in the description. We'll book our call together. We'll go through a very detailed plan in that free call, so you're very clear on that image that you're wanting to create for yourself, and matching a nutrition plan that goes along with that image. I'm excited to move forward with you here on this. I'm excited that you were here. Thank you so much for listening. And I want you to know that you're not alone on this. You don't have to go at it alone. This is what I specialize in. Partner up with me. I'm going to ride shotgun in the vehicle of life that you're driving right now. You point the way, and I'll help us navigate and get you there. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. I want you to enjoy your weekend and the days upcoming. And if this resonated with you at all, leave me some comments inside of the chat, and let me know what you're looking forward to. Let's work together and let's put an end to this inner saboteur, once and for all, and start it just growing self-love for yourself. I really mean it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I will talk to you very, very soon.